SpaceX and NASA just got absolutely destroyed. China secretly built a 3D printer that turns moon dust into buildings, while America was stuck in meetings. Russia's nuclear reactors are already powering Chinese lunar bases. The kicker? They'll control the moon's south pole, where all the water and rare minerals are, by 2030, 3 years before NASA even gets there. But here's the terrifying part nobody wants you to know. Whoever controls the moon controls all future space missions to Mars and beyond. Are we watching America lose the space race forever? Let's dive right in. While SpaceX celebrates Raptor 3 engines and NASA announces another Artemis delay, China has been quietly operating the most advanced space laboratory humanity has ever built. But Tiangong isn't what they're telling the world. Everyone thinks it's just another space station doing science experiments. Dead wrong. Tiangong is a weapons factory for lunar domination, and it's been perfecting technologies that make SpaceX's achievements look like high school science projects. Here's what's really happening up there. Every single day for the past 3 years, Chinese astronauts have been mastering something called ISRU, In Situ Resource Utilization. Translation? They can build entire cities using nothing but dirt from wherever they land. In 2018, they became the first humans to 3D print ceramics in zero gravity. Sounds boring. This breakthrough just eliminated the biggest obstacle in space construction: shipping materials from Earth. Their latest prototype uses concentrated solar energy to melt lunar soil into solid building blocks. Roads, landing pads, entire bases, all made from the ground beneath their feet. But here's the terrifying part. While SpaceX burns billions on rocket fuel to transport construction materials, China just made that entire business model obsolete. The cost advantage isn't just significant, it's game over. For decades, NASA has recycled oxygen using the same outdated electrolysis process that consumes 1/3 of the International Space Station's total power. Expensive, inefficient, and completely obsolete as of 2024. China's astronauts just tested artificial photosynthesis in space, converting carbon dioxide directly into oxygen and rocket fuel using semiconductor catalysts. The process works at room temperature and uses almost no energy. This isn't just an improvement, it's a complete technological leap. Think about what this means. Every NASA mission plan assumes massive fuel requirements, complex supply chains, and limited mission duration. China's technology makes those assumptions worthless. They can refuel anywhere, stay indefinitely, and expand without Earth's support. While Raptor 3 engines are impressive, they still need fuel shipped from Earth. China's ships can manufacture their own fuel from atmospheric CO2. That's not just an advantage. That's technological superiority that makes SpaceX's reusability look primitive. Here's where the partnership gets terrifying. The moon's day-night cycle lasts 28 Earth days, 14 days of blazing sunlight, 14 days of deadly darkness at minus 250 degrees Fahrenheit. SpaceX's solar panels? Useless for half the month. Tesla's batteries? Dead weight that freezes solid. Nuclear power is the only solution, and Russia builds more nuclear reactors than the rest of the world combined. Rosatom isn't just designing a lunar reactor. They're building a fully autonomous nuclear power plant that requires zero human assembly. No maintenance crews, no safety inspections, no political approval processes. Just pure, reliable power running 24/7 for decades. This nuclear advantage doesn't just power small research outposts. It enables industrial-scale mining operations, massive construction projects, and permanent human settlements. NASA's solar-powered camping trips will look pathetic compared to China's nuclear-powered cities. And here's the kicker. Russia's reactor design is already complete and ready for deployment. While NASA debates safety protocols for the next 5 years, China's lunar operations will be powered up and running. Every space agency knows the moon's south pole contains the ultimate prize: billions of tons of water ice and rare earth minerals worth more than entire national economies. Water means life support, rocket fuel, and unlimited expansion capability. But knowing where the treasure is and actually getting there first are two different things. China's Chang'e missions have already mapped these deposits with precision that makes NASA's reconnaissance look amateur. Chang'e 4 achieved what America never even attempted, landing on the moon's far side and establishing permanent communication relays. Chang'e 5 brought back samples from both sides of the moon, something the Apollo program never accomplished. Chang'e 7, launching in 2026, will establish permanent mining operations at the South Pole. By the time NASA's Artemis 3 finally reaches the lunar surface in 2027, if it happens, China will have been extracting water and rare minerals for over a year. First mover advantage in space resources isn't just profitable, it's absolute control. This is like the oil rush of the 20th century, except whoever controls these resources controls all future space exploration. Mars missions, asteroid mining, deep space colonies, everything depends on lunar resources as a stepping stone. Last week's revelation completely exposed NASA's technological stagnation. China unveiled their Lanyu lunar lander during live testing sequences that put SpaceX's Starship prototypes to shame. This isn't concept art or computer animations. Real hardware performing actual landing sequences with precision that makes NASA's SLS program look embarrassing. The two-module design mirrors Apollo's proven concept, but integrates 21st century AI guidance, advanced propulsion, and seamless connectivity with nuclear-powered lunar infrastructure. Here's what should terrify American space officials. China's entire manned lunar program costs less than NASA spends on Artemis program management meetings. Their efficiency isn't just impressive, it's humiliating American space bureaucracy on a global stage. European Space Agency officials are already requesting partnerships with China's lunar program instead of NASA's. Pakistan, Thailand, Brazil, and other nations are abandoning American cooperation for Chinese alternatives. The space race isn't just heating up. America is actively losing allies. This is where China's true ambitions become clear. The International Lunar Research Station isn't a research outpost competing with NASA's planned base. It's a permanent, expanding civilization designed for thousands of residents. Phase 1 completes by 2035 with nuclear power plants, industrial manufacturing, and transportation hubs. Phase 2 by 2045 creates a fully self-sustaining city with residential districts, spaceports for Mars missions, and resource extraction operations that dwarf Earth's mining industry. The modular design allows unlimited expansion. Start with core facilities, add manufacturing plants, residential zones, launch complexes for deeper space missions. Each module builds exponentially on the previous ones, creating unstoppable geometric growth. Meanwhile, NASA's Artemis program promises a tiny research station that might support a dozen astronauts for short visits. The scale difference is so vast it's almost comedic, except the consequences are deadly serious for American space leadership. Chang'e 7 launches in 2026. South Pole resource extraction begins immediately. Chang'e 8 in 2029. Large-scale construction and permanent base establishment. Chinese astronauts land before 2030. Military-grade occupation of lunar high ground. ILRS, Phase 1 by 2035. Complete technological and strategic dominance. NASA's timeline? Maybe Artemis 2 flies around the moon in 2026. Possibly Artemis 3 lands in 2027. Hopefully sustained operations by 2030. The uncertainty in those words should terrify every American taxpayer funding this disaster. China operates with military precision, unlimited state funding, and zero political interference. NASA operates with congressional budget battles, administrator changes every 4 years, and safety reviews that take longer than entire Chinese missions. But the brutal truth goes deeper than timelines. What happens when China controls lunar resources, space-based manufacturing, and the strategic high ground for all future space operations? What happens when every Mars mission requires Chinese permission and Chinese fuel? SpaceX fans love celebrating Raptor 3's 280 tons of thrust and improved efficiency. Impressive engineering, absolutely, but it's solving the wrong problem entirely. China isn't trying to build better rockets. They're eliminating the need for rockets altogether. Why optimize fuel efficiency when you can manufacture fuel anywhere you go? Why celebrate reusability when your competitors are building permanent infrastructure that never needs to return to Earth? Raptor 3 represents the peak of 20th century rocket thinking. China's ISRU technology represents 22nd century space civilization thinking. It's not even the same game anymore. SpaceX's vertical landing spectacles look impressive on YouTube. China's lunar 3D printing facilities will reshape human civilization. Which achievement matters more for the next 1,000 years? This isn't just about space exploration anymore. China's lunar dominance strategy threatens American technological leadership in ways most people can't comprehend. Control of space resources means control of Earth's economy. Rare earth minerals extracted from the moon could crash terrestrial markets overnight. Unlimited clean energy from space-based solar arrays could make oil and nuclear power obsolete. Advanced manufacturing in zero gravity could revolutionize every industry from medicine to electronics. The nation that controls space manufacturing controls global supply chains. The nation that controls lunar resources controls energy prices. The nation that controls the moon controls humanity's expansion into the solar system. While America debates infrastructure spending and social programs, China is building the infrastructure for interplanetary civilization. The wealth gap between earthbound nations and space-capable powers won't just be economic, it will be geological. Every American space policy expert knows these facts. Every NASA administrator understands the timeline. Every military strategist recognizes the implications. So why isn't this the biggest story in American news? Why are we still celebrating SpaceX's incremental improvements while China builds lunar cities? Why are taxpayer billions disappearing into NASA bureaucracy while our competitors achieve operational supremacy? The space race isn't over. It's been lost by default. America chose political theater over technological leadership. We chose budget battles over national security. We chose committee meetings over lunar colonies. But here's the most terrifying question of all. Is it already too late to catch up? When China's nuclear-powered lunar bases are mining resources and manufacturing spacecraft, what exactly is NASA's plan to compete? More environmental reviews, additional safety meetings, another Artemis delay. The next 5 years will determine whether America remains a space power or becomes a historical footnote in humanity's expansion beyond Earth. China and Russia have already made their choice. What will America choose? So here we are. China's building lunar cities with nuclear power and 3D printed infrastructure. Russia's providing the energy backbone. America's stuck in committee meetings arguing about budget overruns. This isn't just about national pride anymore. We're watching the birth of the first truly interplanetary civilization, and it's not speaking English. But here's what keeps me up at night. What if this is exactly what humanity needed? What if America's space bureaucracy was always going to lose to China's military efficiency? What if the future of our species required a completely different approach than democratic debate and private competition? I'm not saying China's authoritarian model is better. I'm asking if it's more effective for species-level challenges, like becoming multiplanetary. The next decade will answer that question. And honestly, I have no idea which answer I'm hoping for. What do you think? Are we witnessing American decline or human progress? Drop your thoughts below. And if this blew your mind, hit that subscribe button. We're tracking every move in this cosmic chess game. The universe is vast, the stakes are infinite, and the game has just begun. China thought they'd won. NASA's $4 billion Gateway was getting canceled in 48 hours. Beijing was already planning their victory lap. Then SpaceX dropped a bombshell that left China's space agency completely stunned. One genius move turned America's biggest space failure into China's worst nightmare. The secret? It's so simple yet so brilliant that China is now desperately trying to copy it. But they're already 7 years too late. What did SpaceX discover that shocked the entire world? Let's dive right in. December 2024, NASA headquarters. The conference room falls silent as the final calculation appears on screen. $4 billion per launch. Not $4 billion for the entire program. Per single launch. Administrator Bill Nelson stares at the numbers that just sentenced America's lunar dreams to death. The Lunar Gateway, NASA's crown jewel for beating China to permanent space dominance, has become the most expensive mistake in space history. How the hell did we get here, someone whispers. The answer's brutal. NASA's original plan looked brilliant on paper. Launch the power and propulsion element first, then send up the Halo habitat module separately months later. Let them rendezvous in lunar orbit like a cosmic dance. But space doesn't care about your plans. What NASA discovered was terrifying. You're trying to dock 2 school buses traveling at 2,400 miles per hour, 240,000 miles from Earth, with a 3-second communication delay. If anything goes wrong, you've just created the most expensive space junk in history. The engineering nightmare spiraled out of control. 2 complete spacecraft, 2 propulsion systems, 2 navigation computers, 2 everything, backup systems for the backup systems. The weight kept climbing. The cost kept exploding. Then came the phone call that changed everything. But first, China dropped their bombshell. While NASA was drowning in budget meetings, Beijing was playing chess. October 2024. China's space agency unveils their master plan with a single presentation that sent shockwaves through every Western capital, the International Lunar Research Station. Not an orbiting gas station like NASA's Gateway. A permanent city on the moon. Nuclear-powered. Mining-capable. Fully operational by 2035. The message was crystal clear. While you're building a rest stop in space, we're building the future. Russian partnership? Confirmed. Multiple nations signing up? Absolutely. China was creating their own space alliance while America's dreams imploded. Pentagon analysts ran the nightmare scenario. If China establishes the first permanent lunar presence, they could claim territorial rights, control lunar resources, own the ultimate high ground. The space race was back, and America was losing catastrophically. Senator Ted Cruz put it bluntly during a classified briefing. We're about to hand China the keys to our solar system. The room went dead silent. Everyone knew he was right. October 15th, 2024, 2:47 p.m. Eastern. NASA Administrator Bill Nelson